The provisional agenda for this meeting is the situation in the Middle East. Invite the representative of Egypt. It is so decided. Mr. Claudio Cordoni, Deputy Special Envoy for the Secretary General for Syria. Mr. Tom Fletcher, Under Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator, Secretary General for Children and Armed Conflict. It is so decided. Two of the agenda. I now give the floor to Mr. Claudio Cordoni.
Second or third, you know.
To join you from Damascus. This past month in Syria, from the region's multiple crises, against huge odds and the social pressures, as well as localized insecurity, present challenges to Syria's political transition. Addressing them requires consolidating institutions, promoting social peace, and advancing Syria's full reintegration into the international, economic, and Mr. President, let me start by noting that Israeli military activity in southern Syria continues in breach of existing agreements and international law. Syrian government forces clash with local forces loyal to Israel carried out airstrikes against Syrian military infrastructure for the first time since July 2025. Israeli forces have continued to conduct incursions into Syrian territory almost daily, including an operation on 29 March against Hezbollah in South Lebanon from Jebel al-Sheikh, Mount Hermon, in Syrian territory. Israeli forces was highly provocative. They were brought back by the Israel Defense Forces, which condemned the incident. I reiterate a strong call on Israel to cease violence, and I hope that talks between Israel and Syria, with U.S. facilitation, can lead to sustainable security arrangements. Mr. President, more broadly, I commend the Syrian government for its efforts to shield Syria from the conflicts raging in the region, with Syrian security forces deployed offensively to control borders. As of 19 April, nearly 300,000 people fleeing the fighting in Lebanon had crossed into Syria, all but 51,000 Syrian nationals. The Ministry of Interior has announced the arrest of several Hezbollah-affiliated cells planning attacks inside Syria or towards Israel, as well as the destruction of cross-border smuggling tunnels and the confiscation of weapons and other military equipment. Drone attack installations in the northeast, including sites previously used by U.S. forces although bilateral efforts, among others, remain to be resolved. Efforts, among others, remain to be resolved. Among others, remain to be resolved. Good faith implementation by both parties is key for trust and stability, and we welcome the recent meeting between President Shara and SDF leader Abdi in Damascus. By contrast, there was no Abdi in Damascus. By contrast, there was no progress on advancing protests, continued nation, improved living conditions, and release of detainees. Deteriorating socioeconomic conditions, alongside reported restriction on freedom of expression inside Sweden, are creating further frictions. Welcome the Syrian government's stated commitment to cooperate